Hello. Christmas. Ho ho. It didn't even show up. It didn't even show up in my chat window. What? Hello, turtle. I can't see. Dashboard is super screwed up right now. Just try refreshing the screen, see if that. Nope. There's something really silly happening here. Where it's only taking up like 70% of the screen height. But I'm a web developer, so I should be able to maybe determine what's going on with the elements here and see why is it not extending through inject layout root. What? Oh, it's flex stuff. Okay, that makes sense. This div right here. Why is your height not full? Why can I not scroll chat down? Why is everything busted? Turn that off. Oh, huh. If I hide the navigation, it all disappears. So that's neat. I guess that explains why it's only taking up so much height. But also, that means that if I increase the height of this element, yay, I can see again. That's a dumb solution, but it does technically work. You gotta admit. Alright, well, hopefully Twitch fixes that. Anyway, a lot of parts of the page is broke. That's weird. I don't know what's up. I don't think I had a browser update. I hope everybody's doing well. Tonight, I want to do a little bit of the debug page work because I would love to have that available for everyone's testing benefit. So yeah, we're gonna try and see what we can do about that. So I'm like too close to the lights. I need to get away from the lights a little bit. Hi everybody. Wednesday, huh? Jeez. Yeah, I noticed that the Christmas intro has started. I don't have to switch anything over. That's automated now. It used to be not automated, and I just have to remember to do the different intro. But now it actually does it on its own, and that's really cool. It's all standardized and unified. It's one page that handles all the intros. It automatically determines if it's a special holiday and needs to swap out assets. I'm quite proud of that page. And no two intros are ever quite the same. So much of the stuff is like slightly randomized. Okay, so check it out. Check it out. Okay, so we now have, when you hit F10, we now have, instead of just a little thing in the corner, we have this whole blob, which you can still kind of see through and everything, and it's mouse controls. So let's get that out of the way. It is mouse controlled only. Currently, the idea is when you first open it up, it's going to look like this with no extra tabs. And there's a little text box below. And if you enter in a secret password that I'm going to change at some point, right now it's Lizard, that unlocks everything. And that persists between sessions. That's stored to the preferences file. So that helps. Maybe in the final version of the game, that will not be tied to the preferences file, because this would allow someone who only has the demo version of the game to break into any part of the game they want to. And also, it would allow Germ Dove to get into all kinds of terrible shenanigans, and I do not approve of that. So Room Warp. Boom. Categorized by chapter. Chapter 2 is not currently in there because Chapter 2 is not really ready yet. But you can just pick a room. I gave them friendly names instead of the scene name that appears in the debug option. I don't know if I should change that or not, but it seems a lot simpler that way. So I can say I want to go to the north side of Frogtown, you know, where Lily's pad is. So when I click this button, it's going to briefly load the room, look at the contents, and discard it. And the reason it does that is because it is calculating where are the entry points into the scene. Apparently there is bottom, left, and top. So I'm going to say enter from the bottom. And then there you go. Boom. We entered from the bottom of the scene. If I instead said enter from the left, well, see, here's a problem because, fence. And previously this was a much bigger issue. But now you can access Warp. You can even access it when the game is paused. I don't know how well that'll work, but you can do it. Okay, that's a problem then. Don't do that when the game is paused. Noted. That will crash everything. Well, it won't crash. It's just because the game is paused, the game is not processing. So that makes me feel like warping should be disabled when the game is paused for the debug page. Or, better yet, it should just unpause. Where's the unpause code? It's in the pause menu, isn't it? What does unpausing do? Cue free. Okay. What adds the pause? What adds the pause scene? UI global. Okay. If pause menu, then just unpause, just rip it out. If UI global dot pause menu. So let's add that to the debug menu for when we are warping. All right, unpause automatically if you are in the process of warping. Let's see if that works. So the debug tools I think are going to be huge. So let's say we go to the back room, bottom side, boom. I'm paused. I choose to warp. Nice. Much better. It should probably go ahead and just, well, should it remove the debug page? I don't know. So additionally, we have the set values, which just has a bunch of stuff, including block field battles, which is pretty nice. What that does is this. So enemies still chase you, but you don't get into fights. So that's pretty nice. It lets you experiment a lot more with that kind of stuff, of juking enemies and such. So that's just a handy little debug option, I think. You can, but as soon as you turn it off, interesting. Interesting. How do we feel about that? I don't love that. How did that happen? It was because I hit an encounter zone. Is in zone was set to true. Then I left the zone, so it's set to false. But player and player manager were already set. What does that mean? So it is allowing this to be set right here. Really, it's this right here that I should circumvent, isn't it? It's not this. Yeah, if that equals 1, then return. Okay, that'll be slightly better. So let's go to bottom and let's set block field battles back to true. So then I can bump into this guy, leave his zone. There we go. Cool. All right. Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, that works. I feel like I could make this a little bit thinner. Okay. Do we want to allow... What do I want to do? Ship it? Just ship it? Oh, I should make it so that fast forward is enabled if you've unlocked the debug tools. So... Preferences, get setting, debug enabled. This one right here. So previously, these are enabled if it's the debug mode. I'm gonna say if it's that, or you've got debug mode enabled. That's good. That's good. So fast forward will be enabled once you turn that on, which is what, F9 and something else. Put it under here. F9. To toggle fast forward, and then I get F7 to toggle slow-mo. Great. Cool. Yep, and it only shows up if it's enabled. Perfect. Yeah, this is like really sloppily thrown together, but that's fine. I have other things that I want to add, but I feel like this is like good enough for this release. What release is this? Let's see here. Looking for the version. number. There you go. 106E. Is that what's out right now? Is 106E? Let's see here. Yes, that is out for the beta branch. So let's make this 106F. Project build. Export project. We're doing it. We're doing it. I'll check something. This is probably silly. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm so sorry. You've been chatting and I can't read any of it. It's like everybody's pretty quiet tonight. This is my chat. This is my chat panel right here. In the Twitch dashboard. Can't scroll it one way or the other. Refresh. It just doesn't. All right, let me try something new. I'm gonna try going to the pop out on my channel's chat. Can I see regular Twitch chat? Twitch fixer site. I know, right? Hello Slav, hello Casual. Okay. Jeez, I'm sorry, buddy. Missed like 10 minutes of chat. Okay, I can see it here. Now, what if I pop this out? Where's the pop out? There we go. All right, I'm gonna pop this out. I don't want this running. That's silly. Twitch. I'm gonna play. Oh, that is fun. All right, I got some scrolling back to do. Okay. The last thing I saw was Mac's message about Firefox, which was 16 minutes ago. What I listed looks very fun, or very cool. Good. Hope to have a system that cool for your intros and stuff. Cool. Good. Go to this menu and stuff when you're bed. You don't need to. You don't need to use this menu. It is tools that will help, like for the testers that want to quickly warp to certain rooms to test certain things. Yeah. Life is good. Slav is living a dream. I do want to play some Factorio. I'm hoping when Chip releases Starground 1.0, that'll scratch that itch at least a little bit. When you had the music off, when an enemy tackles, there's an odd sound after the collision noise plays. When an enemy, like a pig attack, maybe? Would that do it? Do you mean like an in-battle move? Boom, here I am. Instantly. Or do you mean when they collide on the field? Well, let's do this then. Oh gosh. I don't want the mouse to be usable. Okay. Wait, you're talking? It wouldn't be that. It'd be the noise of when they actually hit, but not defend. So it'd be like this one right here. Oh, okay, that's fair. All right, here we go. That sounds pretty normal to me. Oops, I lost chat. There it is. Cover up the evil chat. I'm earing as hard as I can. That is... Oh, I mean, that very well could be it. Just not used to it. All right. So that's looking good. Okay, did the build go through? Once we get the new build out, then we can work on actually changing some things around. So let's send this to a zip. Hello, Al. Updated plane, nice. I will work on trimming and looping probably off stream, because that's going to take a bit. Demo 106F. He's so human. The design is very human. All right, uploads. 106F for Paper Robot demo. Yes. All right, Al, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. We start the game. There it is. Incredible. F10 is now... let's see, beta 106F, set live for closed beta, commit. Boom, it's out on Steam. So let's check it out here. It is mouse-based. Okay, for 106F, the password is lizard. Don't tell anyone. It's going to change for future versions. So we got full room warp. So when you click a warp button, it is going to load that room, but not warp you to it. Then it's going to look for all of the entry points and then give you a menu displaying which points you can enter into. So warp, then it's loading, done. And then you can say, all right, where do I want to arrive from? Let's say the bottom left. So you can actually pick which entrance. Unset is 0, 0. It's like the center point for most maps, which on some of those could be useful, but for the most part, you're probably going to want to come into the room from an actual location. So warp, and then here we are, F10. I should probably change it so that it closes that menu automatically after warping. So that's room warp. Set values is pretty self-explanatory. Type in whatever value you want for max and current. So we got HP, energy, gear, partner HP, XP, bits, as well as a few flags you can toggle. For these, you have to actually hit enter for it to take effect. 104 HP. And a button that you can press to, whenever you press this, that is going to add more module slots. What's that? Oh, yeah. So there you go. You can do that to add more module slots. You can't remove them. And also, it doesn't work if you do it while the page is active. It only loads this stuff when you press pause the first time. So if you want to see it update, you have to unpause and repause. It's So heads up on that. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Oh, and here's a big one for you. Block field battles. Block field battles is this. Oh, but you can still hit him with a gear. Let the record show. I wonder if I should take that out. I feel like that would be useful if it doesn't let you get into a battle at all. How does hitting it with a gear get you into a battle, though? But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. How does gear strike happen? This. Ah, here it is. This is where you jump into the encounter zone. Yeah, if the gear hits, this is where it happens. So we would want to say, don't do that. If we're blocking. There we go. All right, that'll help. Additionally, this little button right here is hard to see, so I'm just gonna throw some little brackets around it. What else? That's probably all we need for that. Okay, yeah. Let's add more stuff to it. I've actually been having a lot of fun working on this little feature. I think a feature that would be really nice to have is when you click a warp zone, I think it would be cool to measure how long it takes to load that room. Oh, also, I need to make this area scrollable. The warp buttons. This right here is currently not scrollable. And it needs to be. Scroll container. Provide scroll bars to a child container when needed. Okay. Okay. Warp buttons is now nested. Do I reference that anywhere else? No. Alright, so let's see that. Wait, why is that? Hang on. What's this complaining about? Use scroll container is intended to work with a single child control. Use a container as child. Or a control and set custom minimum size. So do I need to set custom minimum size here for this to work? Is that the... No? No? I don't know exactly what this is complaining about. This is a VBox container. Use a container as child. That's done. Okay, are you just gonna complain? So the reason that we need that to be scrollable is because of the snail fort. Oh, now I can't scroll this. Huh. That's weird. It's really weird. All right, fine. Maybe we could just make the buttons narrower. Put it in an H box. Or a grid container instead of... Yeah. What if we change this to a grid container and make it 2-column? How's that look? So if I now say, take me to Farm Road, we get this layout, which is fine. And if I say, take me to the Snail Fort, then we get this monstrosity, which is also good. I'm fine with that. I kind of want this to expand to fit. Is that fill? No? No? Huh. Container sizing. Fill. Fill. All right, well, whatever. Mac, thank you for all these various parties. That's a lot of parties. So what I figured we could do is after loading that, what I want is, I guess, container. No, it's not a real container, is it? Okay, so I want something that is basically a container. What else extends off of that? Panel container. Sure. Put warp buttons in that. And then I also want to add a label. Room info. And this is purely for just nice to have for me. On click warp. Set up warp tree. Here we go. We load the scene here. And we're gonna say, what are we gonna tell it here? Room key plus room key plus new line plus. Is there not a way to? Maybe an underscore? How do you carry over a line in GDScript? It says it's backslash, but I just tried that. Oh, now it works. Okay. But can I do this? Yes. Load time. Let's see here. I want to start a timer then. Not new. Oh wait, no, that's a node. I want to do like a benchmarking. Godot, time, a function call. No, not like, no, measure duration of a function call. Okay, yeah, microseconds is probably overkill. Load time equals after time minus before time. Let's just throw that in, just as is, and see what that looks like so far. So this is for benchmarking. How long does it take for a room to load? Where did all this? Why is it all gray? What's going on here? What's in front of this? Panel containers in front of this. Probably. Warp buttons. Visibility here. Let's do warp buttons.getParent.visible. Okay, I think that works. Yes, okay. So if I say waterfall, load time, that is a lot. Yeah, 1.8 seconds, that looks right. So we'll divide it by 1,000,000. I probably don't need microseconds. Let's change that to milliseconds. Divided by 1,000. Yeah, a little bit of benchmark check there. Load time. And then what else? Hey, Liari, welcome in. Room nodes. How many room nodes are there? Right here. Get descendants. Is there any other information I want to know about it? I think that's it. So this will count how this will kind of figure out how big the room is, how long does it take to load all of that from memory. So for instance, a smallish one like room A from chapter 1 takes 1.4 seconds. It has 700 nodes. Oh, cancel. Doesn't work properly. Cancel warp. That's why. Changing that. And that's probably going to be a big thing for people running on hard drive is the load time, right? So Industrial Road 1 takes 1.4 seconds again, 700 nodes. But the hub, well, no, let's do Tutorial Room 1. 0.1 second, very tiny room. The hub, 0.9 seconds. Why does Industrial Road 1 take... Oh, okay. Well, that time it was quicker because it was already cached, I assume. 0.3 seconds. I'm assuming so. 4,000 4,600 nodes compared to 700. Snail Fort's got to be a big one, right? Oh gosh. Well, yeah, look, it's spilling over. Why is it doing that? That's not helpful. Why is it doing this? All right, debug menu. Room warp, margin container, panel container, warp buttons. Yeah, Snail Fort has 5,600 nodes. Okay, interesting, interesting. Huh, it's like this label doesn't seem to be caring where it is set. Hate that. I guess I can just write justify it. It's like they're overlapping. That's really weird. All right, just write justify it and call it a day. Okay, so Snail Fort room, boom, there we go, all right. Yeah, there's some caching going on. It's changing the performance. Some rooms are very tiny. All right, that looks good. What else do we want? What else can help us? I want item summoning. Does it actually summon an item, or does it plop it into your inventory? Summon an item doesn't make sense here because there's no player node. I mean, there's a robot on the scene, but that's not a player exactly. Let's see here. Maybe just pull it straight into your inventory? Well, does that help us as much? It would help in battles, because you could say, oh, you know what, I need to test such and such item. And that would make a lot more sense if you're already in battle, to just put it in your inventory, and then you can just select it. Simple as that. So to do that, what we would want is the system. What does item on field do? Because that could be either a debug room with a shop. That's true. But then you wouldn't be able to get there from a battle. So there is... Here we go. Item get dialog box. Init with item. Blah, 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 blah. Where's inventory? Here we go. Inventory append, key item append, module list append has a little bit extra code to it. Okay, for this, I would love it if there was a visual, like a graphical, list of items that you could just pick from a thing, and then I guess select an item, and then that takes you to a menu that gives you some information about it, as well as a button to add it to your inventory. I think that would make sense. Let's do it that way. That's probably a little bit overkill. I don't know if I mentioned this about... there was one other thing that I didn't mention in Discord that I would like to do that I think would be very helpful, which is a battle stager, where you can select a list of enemies and any other special modifiers, and then it triggers a battle scene that way, as though you encountered that enemy in the field. And it just like plays the battle animation, and then there you are. But you can choose, like, I want to be fighting a pig, a snail, and another pig, and the third pig has a strawberry. Like, I would love it to be super granular like that. Oh, can you imagine how much easier that would make testing? Oh my gosh. Why have we never done this before? Oh yeah, because I gotta do all this stuff too. That's why. All right, so let's put off state flags. Wait, why does that have the level up handler? Wait, why does this have? Why is the level up handler in here? It is in there for some reason. That should be in set values. There we go. That was silly of me. State flag is still on the to-do list. Oh man, I don't want to think about it. Okay, a drop down, perhaps? Or a tree. Room warp is tree based. I found that to be very weird, the way that trees are done in this, the drop down trees. You have to, if you want to do a button, it has to be an image button, which is silly. But scrollable is nice, I imagine. I mean, I'm not against it. Because then I could sort it by modules versus key items versus regular items. But instead of warp, it would be something else, some other thing. So let's treat it the same way as we do for warp, which is that we have a margin container. We're just gonna say filler up minus a little margin that I'm manually doing. You're not supposed to do it that way. That's not how you use. Stop. That's not how you use margin containers. Tree, and then a separate container for selected item panel. And that's gonna have like details about the item, like here's what the flavor text is, here are all the stats of the item. 10! Oh, thank you, Liari, for 10 consecutive views. A spreadsheet. I already have so many spreadsheets, and I love them. All right, so let's do item menu. We're gonna need item tree and selected item panel. So we're going to set this up as not the warp stuff. Gosh, I love making little helper functions. It's fun. Set up item tree. Welcome in, Crapbag. How are you doing tonight? Oh gosh, why do I love it so much? Okay, so we're gonna do it similar to the warp directory, where it automatically like makes these little, it just warps you. It's super useful. but we're going to do it for the item directory. So we're going to create a root item. We're not going to actually connect it yet, but it's going to be there. Oh, we're doing good here. We're making some debug tools for the testing team. I'm calling them the testing team now, that's right. So we're going to do items in items here. So what is this? Item directory, item key. How do I get all valid items? Well, I know that they all have a field called key. So I think what I would do is I would say, do this for the item directory. Like in item directory dot get directory property. And then if, let's see, then we want we want to make sure it is a dictionary. And then check to see if it has a field called key. Or no, that's it though. That's it right there. Just check to see if it's a dictionary. And then make sure key item is false. Bobs are a weird one because they're not key items, but they're not regular items either. If item, if it's not a key item and it's not a Bob, then it's something we want to actually add in here. And to do that, it's like this. Tree item is tree.createItem under root. Ooh, wait, no, we need to make a different thing. Tree. Standard items, key items, and modules. The thing is, key items aren't really an official system. So many things are handled by state flags that I haven't even bothered. Like, when you drop the blender off, you get a blender, but it never even leaves your inventory. All right. Put it in standard items. Set the text equal to item.name. Yep. Looks good. And then I can... that's it, right? What's all this other stuff about warp room and stuff? Oh, right. Button count. I see. Add a button. Add a button to it. Do not set a color. Pinned to our no. Maybe? Yes. Maybe. Item list. Item dot ID. Item dot key. Item list needs to exist though, because warp list is just a list of things, but it doesn't tell you where it is. So how does the get item business work again? yeah, it's different. It's different here. Add to inventory. It's based on the item key. Item type. So where does item type come in? Is module... Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, we just check to see if it's in the item directory, and if not, we check the module directory. Okay, that's not bad. We can manually do that. Okay, so we'll just keep track of the IDs in order. All right, would love to see if this much works. I guess. Okay, instead of tree though, we need to be looking at item tree. Okay, let's see if that works. Let's see if that much works. Just to get a list of regular items. Nope. Not even a little bit, huh? All right. Well, what went wrong? These three did not get names. That's probably a lot of it. Set text. Standard items to standard items, then key items, then modules. All right. Well, I see the word modules. It's probably a start, right? Why does this work so well and this doesn't? Oh, well, okay. Yeah, okay, yep. Maybe I'm a little bit silly. Maybe I'm a little bit dumb. Okay, there they are, but they're not, they're all empty. I can't get to them. Hide root. True? Maybe not true? What else do we have here for this tree? Create item, create item. Oh, there's no other weird stuff going on. Just set text, add button. Seems pretty straightforward that you just create an object. Chapter name, set text. I turned off collapsed here. Oh my goodness, it's GameCube. Mac, thanks for the giant goose. GameCube, I want a complete play-by-play of everything. Why is it grayed out? Oh, I know why it's grayed out. This. Hey, all right. Well, yeah, I figured that. Please, enlighten us further. Item tree. Create items in this. How does this work? Goose beat up a chair. Tried to beat up the new PC. Nice. Does the new PC have googly eyes on it yet? Create item. Child of parent item. New item will be the indexed child of the parent. Okay. So yeah, tell it what you want the parent to be, which is standard items. Okay, that's already set up. Oh, good. The S flag. I know what we're talking about. From Smash Brothers. From Smash, not from the property S flag. Oh. Smash Brothers has items? Ah, of course. Tree.create item. Tree. Item tree. Create item. Yep. That's all it needs. That's all it needs. Oh, maybe it's not hitting anything in here. Maybe we're just not actually getting any items. He's some kind of item. Some kind of dupu. That's what's happening. We're not hitting any items at all. Let's see if this triggers anything. Well, I hope it was a series of very enjoyable things. Yeah, we're getting test logged 60 times and test 2 0 times. So this is always failing. We're never finding any dictionaries that are not null. Why? Oh, I see it. I see it. Copy paste error. Not self.get, item directory.get. There we go. Show me a list of items, debug menu. Failed. Crackdown. Wait, key is supposed to exist on all of these. Let's use directory property instead of item.key. How about that? A little bit of driving as a treat. There we go. Now we have our items. Next up, I would love for this to have the actual item picture. One of Xbox's greatest games? Really? Really? You don't say! Can I get an Atlas texture in here? Will this accept an Atlas texture? Texture 2D. Atlas texture. I should be able to make an Atlas texture. Var. Item texture equals Atlas texture dot new. Item texture dot Atlas equals, what is that? Don't remember the driving? Oh no. Texture that contains the Atlas. Okay, so we can use this for the Atlas, and then we have to set the region. Item texture dot region equals rect2 0 0 100 100. I don't know. Get icon. Isn't there a get icon that I made a while back? Battle menus, pause menu has one, cooking has one, combat, utility, get icon rect. Here we go. This sounds good. Utility. Get icon rect. That's it. That's it. Utility get icon rect. Ha ha ha! I already made it. Yes! I'm a genius. Oh, this is gonna look so good. This is gonna look so good. Ready? 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 It failed. Why? Do I have to enable region maybe? Region. Something seems wrong here. Have I used Atlas texture anywhere else? I guess technically yes. Portrait texture duplicate. All right, print the region. Prove to me that you're actually setting this to a valid value. Those look fine. Yeah, those look fine, honestly. Does this not like Atlas texture? Okay, hold on. Godot. Add button. Tree item add button. Atlas texture. It's very specific. Does anybody had an issue? Anybody had an issue with that? Doesn't look like it. Dang. Minigame. Beglins. I wonder if Atlas texture just isn't supported for a tree, and it's just something you have to be surprised by. We can try something here. I can make a texture rect. Stick it here or something. Or here. Or wherever, really. It doesn't matter. Put these icons in it. So this is what the icons thing looks like. But I can say new Atlas texture. Using this as the Atlas. And then using, sure, that. Okay, so let's pretend then. Let's just call this test. Let's just pretend item texture equals this. No, that's a this dot texture. Would that work? No, it's still loading the whole icon. Ooh, uh-oh. Give me a different icon map. Modules. Give me this right here. Secret safe. Yeah. That's actually the final item. Wait, it's still giving me the old icon system. For some reason. Oh! Okay, hang on. We're good. We're actually great. That's what I was doing wrong. We're fine. Everything is fine. Oh, that's so good. Now, I would love it if I could scale this down a bit, but I don't think that it's gonna give me any reasonable way. Wait, hang on, let me check this. Transform? No, that doesn't affect this texture. It's just the raw texture itself. So it's just gonna be a little bit big. Unless I do it as a grid instead of a tree. Oh, but you'd never know when you get to the modules, though. The modules would make that kind of not usable. Right. So it's a little bit to scroll through, but it's doable. Like, I want that. Give me that. But what it's going to do is when you click on it, it's not going to give it to you. It's going to display information with the option to then give it to you. Okay, so there's our items. Now, do it again for key items. That's easy. I feel like I could wrap this in a for loop, but should I? Yeah. This is so silly. And yet... There we go. Done. All right, that wraps that up in a new loop. So we've got that handled. Next, we have to do module textures, which is that. And then we need to do module directory, property list, module. All right, item texture. It's going to be a new one using that. We're going to use module icon index. Okay. Tree item. We're going to create it in the modules setup. set text equal to module.name, right? Yes, as a matter of fact. Add a button using our new item texture. Append. Done. All right, let's see it. Oh, modulate. I need to modulate the button. There's that. There's our key items, and there's our modules, but they all look the exact same. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes. Having everything in the world. Add button, I believe, accepts a color? No. There is a color set icon modulate. No, surely there's another button color. Set button color. So we do tree item set button color. We say 0, button index 0, and then we do the color, which is color modulate. Is that fine? Yeah, good. Key items, modules, properly colored now. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I know, there's no button there. Okay. So now we need our on-click. On-click item button. Button. Connect. Yeah, there we go. On-click item button. So we can get the item ID from here by just grabbing the ID. And we're just going to say print item ID. Just take it one step at a time. Confirm each piece works. So if I click mistake, then I get mistake and a bunch of extra information that I didn't expect. Huh. Oh, because it's giving me the entire tree item, isn't it? I just need the name. Yeah, there we go. Appropriate name. All right, cool. So that does work. That gives us the ID that we can grab. And we're going to do it similar to right here, how we get the type here. Which, just temporarily, let's just do this. Take item ID. Is modular equals false, except in this one, is modular equals true, and then we do whatever we need to do with that information, which is going to be, we're going to hide the item tree and show selected item panel. Wouldn't it be nice if we included the texture? Oh, that would be nice. You're absolutely right. so right. Oh, what can we do here with this module business? This is looking like we could almost do everything the exact same. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. What is this not like? Texture not defined. Oh, right, because this needs to be a dictionary. Item object. Item object dot name. Oh yeah, that should be ID. Let's change that to ID. And does this work? This is gonna fail out, isn't it? What should this be? ID. Apparently ID. And for item directory, key. Wait, no, wait. Directory property domain. What was I thinking? That was right the whole time. Okay. Details about the item now. Details. We want a label. Item details. A texture rect of the item image. Throw those in, I don't know, an HBox. Item name up here. Throw that in a VBox. Sure. Followed by the item details. Alright, why not? So we need the item name, item texture, item details. Item name equals the item dot name. Item texture dot texture. Oh wait, this is supposed to be item name dot text. Texture equals item object dot texture, which should be carried over, and then item details. Test. And then we'll need a button that you can click. Right? I didn't have this set up properly. This needs to be hidden. This needs to be shown. New button. Get item button. Get item. Func on click get item. Node pressed. All right, I mean that's fine too. Okay. The rain blower. It's pretty much just an asset swap. Strawberry. Boom, strawberry. Thank you for the follow. All follows are anonymous. There we go. Test, test, test. Looks great. All right, so what we're gonna do next is item details are gonna get set up. No idea on it. So it is a flamethrower, but it's all happy-go-lucky and it shoots bubbles. But it also does actually a very impressive visual effect on the game if you are using it. The gag is that the pyro from TF2 does not see fire and burning. They see rainbows and puppies and cotton candy. And so if you are using the rain blower, all of the like Badlands desert textures of the game are replaced with like candy stripes and smiley faces, and it's really well done. Like it's because it works for every map, which is really impressive. Okay, item details. What item details are there to give you about, say, this? I should specify if it's a module. I should specify target, description, default cost. That seems good. So this is where if is module comes into play. Description. Description. What else did I say? Target and default cost. This is helpful stuff, I think. Oh, that needs to be stringified. GDScript is pretty particular about that. You gotta be using the right info. All right, modules should be a little bit. Oh boy. Okay, description, default cost, and shape. That one's trickier. You know what? You don't get that. You just don't get that. Okay. And then we'll have to do the on get item pressed business. Var selected item. Var is module. Selected item instead of item. Okay. And then how to give you this? If is module, then give it to you this way. Else if selected item dot is key item, else yeah, I guess we should do a dot get on that. selected item dot item key. Is it module dot key? Is that right? No, it should be ID. If it's a key item, do it this way. And if it's a regular item, do it this way. And then item directory. Lost the item directory. That one is dot key as well. Just in general. Okay. I think that might be all of it. We need a cancel button. We need a cancel button. Stick that in a H box. And also disconnect that. Connect. Cancel. Toggle this. True. False, but also do this after giving an item. All right, here we go. I guess I need to get into the game this time around. Okay, so let's check our inventory. All right, looks normal, totally normal stuff. But if we go in here and we say, give me jam. Oops, I forgot new lines. Get item. I have jam! Alright. Give me module. Give me guard monitor. Oh my gosh, it works! Okay, all we're missing then is new lines. Here and here. That is so great. So, the debug items. There's some debug items in here that are going to be useful. Free XP, probably not necessary now that you can set XP, because that's basically all that free XP did, is it would just set the XP gained in battle to a ridiculously high number, which I guess is slightly different. Insta-win just deals 99 damage to all enemies. Instant insta-win just ends the battle abruptly. The enemies don't even show as defeated in battle. It just says, okay, you won, I think. And then the doors close and carries on as though you won. And then game over just kills you instantly. I wonder if I should have a flag for those. Eh. Nice. Can't even get most of these items. Oh, and temp status effect. That's a debug item. That's super good. That's super good. What if though? Take this texture and just scale that up a bit. Oh, you can't control that. Okay, never mind. All right, never I can set a minimum size. There we go. Yeah, cool. Now you can investigate items. I love it. If using items in the tutorial part that shouldn't normally exist there, what did you have in mind, Mac? Like using a tennis ball against the rats or something? Or having a module equipped? I mean, it just count as doing 2 damage. There's a chance you could mess up some of the scripts of the battle. Like, what would happen if... Well, I can't think of any cases, really. I'm sure there's some way that could be screwed up, but nothing comes to mind. All right, so now we can set XP and HP and everything and money. You can set as much money as you want. You can grab an item straight out of thin air. These don't do anything, by the way. Just so we're clear. The key items don't technically do anything. Except for the wooden spoon, I guess, and maybe the key. I don't know. But most of those are just state flags that are handling that. This is good. This is really good. This is less good, but we'll get to it. Okay, state flags or custom battle. State flags or custom battle. Both are important. All right, let's try the state flag stuff. This is gonna be a weird one. Does it see a grid container? No, it would be a V-Box container, and then we'll just deal with the fallout. State flag. Alright, next block. Set up state flags. State flags are different. Really, this is something that should happen when you view it. Like when we show debug. So let's do it that way. Similar to current values, like HP. You should pull it in when you pull up the menu, not elsewise. State flag is in. State flags. Is this gonna give me? Let's see here. Go. Get dictionary, keys, and values. Or is this good enough? flags gets called here. It's not showing, not iterating. I guess it's empty at that point. That's the problem. So I can actually get into these. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so that gives me the actual flag. And then the flag value. It's called flag name and flag value. It's key value pairs. That's all it is. For each of those, what do I want to show? Data outputs, no. No, nothing like that. We're seeing less and less of hard lock kind of situations. When we do see it, it's in a very notable place. It's very easy to reproduce. If we encounter something else that is happening that needs to be tracked down, it shouldn't be hard to add additional debugging for that. We don't know what we need. So right now I'm keeping track of like which rooms you're entering, that kind of stuff. Nothing too crazy. These are pretty useless. I'm just looking at these. These are pretty useless. This is basically just a dump of your save file data. Well, some of it. Because this is keeping track of so much stuff. This is keeping track of, like, have you done a specific one-time only battle? But it's also doing, have you opened this treasure chest? Have you talked to this NPC? Like barely useful. Like we'll include at least displaying these values. Like maybe it's handy. I don't know. I can't. With the warp, like being able to. I'm trying to talk myself one way or the other here. It's like. It feels like such a harder thing to make use of. And that's specifically because this information here is like, what does that mean? What is O1F hyphen flower? What does it mean if that's a 0 or a 1? Shelve this for now. State flag container goes away. State flag tab goes away. Battle. Custom battle. What does that get you? I guess drop down menu. Drop down menu of enemies. Do I want full I don't think I want full enemy details listed. Like, oh, here's their strength, here's their move list. It's like that feels less useful entirely. Because sometimes the moves just can't fire because of other requirements that it's too much to include that. So I think this will just be a series of drop downs. It'll basically be like, all right, enemy 1 has this, enemy 2 has this, enemy 3 does not exist. That's that. So what do we do? Do we have like a add enemy and delete enemy buttons? This would be a box of our enemies. What information do we have about enemies when we go into a battle? Encounter manager. Where's our list of enemies? Isn't there like a big list of enemies? Or is that encounter zone? Yeah, here we go. Enemy keys is the important things. Are there enemies? Yeah, there's like a handful of flags that can trigger. Populate items. So it's all about populating this encounter details JSON dictionary thing. That seems doable. That seems super doable. Alright, so then the details that are provided is a handful of flags that can be turned on and off, a list of up to about 4, maybe 5 enemies, and then a list of items. How does this work? 4 enemy key. Wait a second, there's more to it than this. There's more to it than this. Yeah. You can have key and then enemy. Items is what's throwing me for a loop. Just gets appended to encounter details. Items? Enemy list. Enemy key. Check if the enemy can have an item. but then append it to items. Battle manager. Is this a potential oversight here? 'Cause I think it is. Oh, here we go. Okay. I don't love that, but okay. Yeah. So each enemy can hold an item. It's 2 arrays of the same size. So it's first enemy and then first enemy item key, which is usually blank, and then second enemy, third enemy. That's alright. I can think of other ways I'd prefer to do that, but it is good enough. Not going to include pictures. Like we did for... I think this is going to be hard set at just 5 drop downs. And if you leave one blank in the middle, I'm just going to ignore it and skip it. So let's make this a grid container. No, we still want a V-Box. We still want a V-Box, and then a grid in that. Just 2 drop downs. Just 2 drop downs. So we're gonna add. Is drop down? Uh-oh. Is that not a? What are the controls? What are the input controls available? Drop down menu. Is that option button? Okay. Option button. Here we go. Yes. Perfect. I guess let's do 3 of these and a label. Ah, jeez, GQ. Gosh, you do that. If this would stretch. There we go. Yeah. Duplicate, 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 duplicate. There we go. So we can set up a battle. directory.get property list, where it's a dictionary. Var enemy IDs is empty array. Enemy directory get property list. Option button has something called items. How do I add an item to an option button? Add item. Okay. Enemy ID and enemy IDs. Something something. What a great game, Mario RPG. Wow. That was pretty much it. That was really much all of this. I don't think you can have a key item, but we'll see about that. Standard items. Standard item name. So I want like this. So far, item IDs. Key item, and it's not a bomb. You were close. What's this not like? Cool. Okay, that should let us see the battle tab. Oh, I should include a blank item, right? Oh gosh, what if you encounter Dappy? It's horrifying. Yeah, there should definitely be a nothing. How does add item work here in this? -1. Add item. If no ID is passed, any item index will be used as the item's ID. Ah. That's fine. That's fine. I can work with that. Clear it out. I guess include a nothing. battle. Fresh out of ideas. Encounter details. Enemy keys. Scene manager just start battle. Encounter details. This is the big thing right there. Encounter details itself needs some information. Tecmo. Enemy list is gray. Additionally, we have the item pool. Is gray. And then we have these weird ones, Gear Strike and Is Shot. And we may include some other optionals about like arena effects, right? That's going to be an interesting one too. We can turn on arena effects. So we'll figure that out. Index 1. So I guess what we want is, it's gonna be really silly if you try to have a blank in the middle. So we can get the option buttons current ID, right? Get selected ID. I guess that's good enough. Get selected ID. If ID is greater than 0, enemy ID equals enemy ID is sub ID, and then we can say, okay, cool, well then, encounter details dot enemy list dot pin enemy ID. Yay! SNES games. Oh, yeah. Duh. That's the one. This is gonna work super well. Go to a scene, any random scene, and then we say, all right, I want to start a battle with Piggle, a snail, and a Cogmite. Where's my button? Oh. Did I? That's not who I said, is it? Piggle, snail, Cogmite. Okay, you're like one off. All of you are. Because I added this empty one, right? But I did that on purpose because I thought -1. -1 is the initial. Okay. Wait, no. No, it's not. Is it? Let's try that again. Without that. Still, that was something. Give me Piggle. Piggle, Balloon, and Hard Hat. One off again. So, enemy ID -1. Also, it would be super nice if this had text that said, like, start battle or something. Apparently, yeah. Now, I don't even think I need to get into the game. Just a Piggle. One Piggle, please. There he is. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Piggle. ID is greater than 0. Oh wait, but no, because I still want to append a blank, I think. Okay, what we're gonna try here is a battle with 3 pigs, and the middle one has a strawberry. We got it. Nice. Very nice. Cool. That's great. That is great. I would like next these bits here are going to be in the form of little extra options before we start battle. We're going to have a checkbox. First strike. On off. You know what though? Actually, it'd be really nice instead. This is fine. Battle options. We're gonna make this data-driven so that I don't have to manage like connections to every little thing, and I can just have a big list of variables, basically. So to add to this list, the flags we want to track are Gear Strike, is shocked, and I guess some arena effects as well. So yeah, let's just have names. Let's just do it this way. First strike, shock start. Disable, run. Wet floor, I think was the other weird one. And then for battle option in battle options, checkbox equals checkbox. Oops. Checkbox.new. Checkbox.text equals the battle option. And then battle options dot append this new checkbox. What? It's that. Alright, cool. And then right here I can do a quick little check. In each of those. And say, Posey's been a real handful. She's really in the doghouse. Did you like that one? Germs' dad jokes are spreading like germs. Da-da-da. Okay, checkbox. Checkbox. Not icon. It inherits. Button press? I think it's button press. Is what we want. If index equals 0, then this is the gear strike. It's a silly way to do it, but honestly, I like code over moving things around. Disable run. Arena effect directory, can't run. And then we have wet floor. Alright, that's got that. I've got one other thing I want to add to this system, specifically, which is changing the set. Oh, not append, add child. I'm thinking. The set dressing for a battle. Give me a Webster, give me wet floor, and I can't run. Do that. Can't run away. Wet floor, double electric damage. Cool. Good. sets. This isn't dynamically this centralized. It's just a big yeah, this is tricky. It's all if statements. It's this, then this, if it's that, then that. It's throwing things off. It's almost like I'm wanting to do regular expressions for this, which I don't. Let's be completely honest, I don't. That's not even gonna work. It has to be O2 slash. If I can make it an object and then iterate over the object, then I can reference the object to make this. So let's have sets equals. It's a list of things with matching terms. So a set could be something like scene. And it's hierarchical, perhaps? Like we iterate until we find a match? How is it matched by? This is an exact match. This is begins with, and then this is contains. I would want it to be greedy and say, give me the first thing that fits. But then the order of this makes more sense for us to start with the default. Cozy is snoring hard. So it'd be like 00 slash star. I guess we'll do a pseudo wildcard system here. Spaz snail. Scene has to match exactly. Oh, but then look over here, there's like a whole list of things it could be. So you'd want it to be like this. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so there. That's how we handle that. And we look for. We just keep going. We match against all of them. That's not super great, but it could work. But it does give us a list of scenes. That's the important thing. Okay. I'm worried I'm gonna break something here. Because I'm rewriting a pretty crucial system without giving it much testing. There's a lot of different battle scenes that you can load here, I'm realizing. I guess the battle scenes are pretty easy to make. I don't want to make a separate one for every single room, but it's worth pointing out they're not hard to set up. Cave, fort, and then boss. I realize now that I don't have a way to force which battle decor you get in the encounter details. That needs to be addressed. All right, there we go. That's chapter 1 scenes. Gotta include O2/ here. This will be really good for testing these too. Power station, match that on contains power station anywhere. Okay, so this is much cleaner to look at. Marginally, I'll take it. All right. Set in for battle set object in sets. We want to look at the current room key. We want to look for match string in get match. If match string dot ends with an asterisk, not quite this. There's one more if statement for that. If the match string, remove the asterisk. If my current room key starts with yes, begins with this, then we have a match. Whew. Alternatively, That's for if a match ends with an asterisk. Then look to see like, hey, does it start with that? But I guess that's begins with an asterisk and doesn't start with an asterisk. Or wait, begins with. We're in the wrong spot. If it ends with an asterisk and doesn't begin with, then we're just looking for begins with. But if it begins with and ends with, then we're looking for contains as a substring. What are you complaining about here? Mixed use of tabs and spaces? Where? Right, oh, right there. And then finally, if it doesn't end with an asterisk, but it does start with an asterisk, then we're looking for ends with. All right. Battle decor equals. All right. And that's how we set the battle decor of the scene manager. Now let's actually try this. All we gotta do is just warp on over to a battle room. Okay, that's wrong. That's the wrong scene, so it doesn't work. We're supposed to get root because our scene name was O1/A. Ah! Here we go. If none of these are the case, we didn't cover the base case. Then not ends with, not begins with, but straight up equals the match string. Take me to Industrial Road left again. Show me an Industrial Road. Good. So now we have our list of sets. I really want to finish this off, and then we really gotta get out of here. We'll raid and run somewhere. That might be a good option. Manager.sets. We want an option button. Label, battle, set. And then an option button right after it, which is going to be expand. Battle set. Battle set's not going to be too hard to establish. For battle set in scene manager.sets. Battle set dot add item battle set dot get scene. that's it. And then we can take, oops, I called this bat set. Nice. All right, and then when we are starting the battle, we're gonna say C measure dot decor. Where does that get set? Set override. Perfect. We have a thing for this. C manager dot sets sub battle set dot get selected ID and then get scene or link. Does it work? Fight a pig in a cave. Absolutely incredible. And add a scarecrow. Does this work? What would this do? Okay, we're in a new battle. And also the scarecrow has an apple. And the pig has a cake. Wait, that's a cupcake. Oh yeah, I guess that's all it is. Berry jelly. And also, there's B. And Dubu's there. With a smoothie. All right, now we got a battle going. And I hit him with a bowling ball. Hilarious. All right, we did it. Let's get out of here. He is on. I'm rating and running though. All right. That's going to make battle testing significantly easier. That you can just start a new battle. I didn't even know that would work. That you can just keep repeating. So that's cool. Guys, thanks for hanging out. We got some stuff done. Somehow. There's so much to do. I got that whole big to-do list still. We kind of put that off to do the debugging stuff, but I think that's going to be really useful. This little debug page is really going to help. I think I'm going to get this out maybe before work tomorrow and publish it as 106G. And then that will be basically the release candidate. We'll kind of give that some good testing and then hope for the best. But yeah, this is gonna help just testing other things. So that's huge. Thank you again for coming. I'll see you guys later.